Hey guys, welcome to your Pisces full moon video with me, your astrologer, Alexandra Irving, with Chasing the Bagua. This is a big full moon bringing in wishes and gifts and the transformation needed for us to pursue a lot of things that we've been wishing for, especially since that Pisces new moon that we had back on March 2nd. This was at 12 degrees, and this was really inspiring our ways of thinking to the divine. So maybe check in with yourself and see what you've been wishing to cultivate since then, because this full moon, which is exact here on the East Coast, September 10th. This is Saturday at 5:59:03 a.m. This is going to be the moon in Pisces at 17 degrees, 41 seconds in opposition to the sun in Virgo. And there's a lot really for the collective, for release, because this is conjunct Neptune. Neptune's at 24 degrees. So not the tightest orb, but definitely the collective is going to be feeling a lot. And we just lost the Queen of England. People are talking a lot about this. And if you check back with my September 2022 predictive video, I talk about this full moon a little bit, having to do with death, having to do with release. And here we are, and we have a massive death, the death of Queen Elizabeth, that people all around the world are talking about. But also let us remind ourselves that there is magic here with our understanding of self, with our understanding of the transformation that we're going towards, because Jupiter and the nakshatra system, the Vedic nakshatra system, which is the stories of the moon, to put it in a simple sense, when we look at this tropically, it's in Purva Bhadrapada, which is ruled by Jupiter, and Purva Bhadrapada has to do with going on to this next part of our lives. So yes, the world is going through this next part of its life, the death of a monarch, of a really big marker of time. And as I said, Jupiter is the ruler of this nakshatra, falling in the 8th house from the sun. So as I could see, there is a lot of transformation, death. There's a lot of secrets. There's a lot of truth coming through this as well. We have Mars that's activating this full moon. It's in square, not the toughest square, not the tightest, but this is going to bring up a big action within our emotions and what we truly believe. And so going back to Purva Bhadrapada, this is really a nakshatra that raises the spiritual energies for people on this pursuit to find the inklings, to find the magic. So just to be mindful of the collective energy, because there's a lot that we could put our own beliefs or get sucked into. And so that's something to be mindful of, especially as the Brihat Samhita does speak of, cowards, of foolish activities, and those devoid of virtuous activities. So let's reel ourselves in, because remember, this is a Pisces full moon having to do with the 12th house. The 12th house is activating that spiritual understanding, and if we're not careful, we can be going into escapism, and we may see our others around us going in through detox, or not detoxifications, well, hopefully detoxing from intoxicants, because this can actually have a lot of mental energy that's going on, especially as Mercury just retrograded the night before on the East Coast, not too long after, or before rather. So Mercury, which has to do with the thought, Mercury, which rules information, the media. Look at this, a lot of this, this death that is being talked about right now in the media may pull us from this spiritual understanding within activating our own gifts. And I would say, yes, like last night, you may say I didn't really sleep well last night. Maybe some, things that are happening in my life, but it's also this full moon as well, because the 12th house has to do with sleep. So yes, we can be, activating our ESP. We can be activating spiritual gifts, psychic connections. I was talking to a friend that is, understanding this more synthesis with colors and these things is coming to her. And this makes sense, especially under this full moon, to expose and bring light to our gifts and our spiritual gifts that we can also offer to the world. So this is a dynamic time. And just to go back to this Mercury in opposition to Jupiter is very important, because Mercury just retrograded hours before this full moon is exact. So this energy is drawing strong within our relationships, within our values, and within our beliefs and power of activating change, and also those psychic gifts. So let's take time to have some spaciousness within ourselves, our daily activities, seeing the sun, is in Virgo, and this is a 17-degree full moon. So this is another theme of that eighth house energy, scorpionic energy, transformation, death, occult, gifts, all these things, power. So we must embrace this. We must dial ourselves in, because this is an opportunity like no other for us to heighten our relationships, heighten the magic within our lives, and the prayer, activating the liberation that we see within our lives. I speak of this more too in that September 2022 video, and also that Virgo new moon. I speak of this as well, because we're still under this really important active new moon cycle, this lunation cycle, which is square Mars. So on the other end, now that we're having this full moon, we're going to be seeing something come to light and to full culmination about our spiritual beliefs. Beliefs are huge right now. And let's not get sucked into the world. Remember, self-knowledge, knowledge of self is very powerful. And ancient scriptures always speak of this self-knowledge, especially with Jupiter in this opposition to Mercury, heightened. And also, by the way, Mercury retrograded at 8 degrees. So if we talk about this death, transformation, there's a lot of this energy. So we have to go through the transformation and be able to also see the complexities of our psychology to free ourselves, to have that liberation. This nakshatra bears the gifts of seeing issues from a different perspective. And as Mars is really strong, just entering shadow, the week before, its draw is really internalized and activated, as we see in the chart, within our self-knowledge, as Mars is the ruler where Jupiter sits. So let us take action into freeing ourselves, into compassion, which is that higher aspect of Neptune as well. Compassion. Let's not get lost in mainstream and the corporate media, all these things, and also the empathy that's going on, the empathy of a queen dying, all this stuff. Let's, yes, have compassion. Let's hold compassion for ourselves and also the changes and the challenges that we are enduring and going through and crystallizing into new opportunities of abundance. There is so much for us, and there's a lot to be really excited for. We did have, Jupiter and Venus conjunct in Pisces this year, and this sets off some very spiritual gifts for us in the collective. So again, it's not being confused and allowing our gifts to come up. So don't be scared about gifts. Search things that can actually alleviate any pressure and bring that clarity, because a lot of us are activating our higher potential in how we are relating with the world, and this is a truth. So so know that you are being guided in this way, and Jupiter, as it comes direct on that Sagittarius new moon, this is going to be a lot of when we see a culmination with the abundance coming into our lives. So stay tight, hold dear to the actions that we need to facilitate right now to create this abundance and create the magic that we are seeing within our lives. Well, thank you so much for joining me today for this full moon video. I hope your full moon activates a lot of light that sheds this compassion and more liberation into your lives. I know we're all going through dynamic pressure as the world is itself. This full moon also relates to those foreign lands. So there's going to be a lot of talk about foreign lands, but I think it is very important to draw ourselves in to the abundance of our spiritual awareness and tie strings through the sisterhoods, the brotherhoods, and everybody that is activating with this heart. Well, thank you again, and I will see you soon.